We say what they can't radio.
Welcome to SoulShare, a conversation focused on love, intimacy, vulnerability, and emotional intelligence. This is a different kind of relationship dialogue for those who want to make the shift from the ego-driven to more intimate, spirit-nurturing partnerships that satisfy. Because that's what Black love is. Black love is powerful. Black love is soulful. Black love is a love that you can feel. Give thanks. Greetings. I'm Sesheta Khepra, the Intimacy Junkie, and welcome to SoulShare. And today I have
Morock, big shot Morock, CEO of We Say What They Can't Radio. How you doing?
I'm well. How are you doing?
I'm good. I missed you. We've missed you.
I miss you guys too. I know it's been a long time since, my last taping. This month, we're in the month of May,
Right.
and it's Mental Health Awareness Month.
Right.
So that's what we're going to be discussing today.
Let's go.
Mental health awareness, and especially in our community, because it shows up differently in Black men as it does with Black women, and we all have our individual struggles. And lately there's been a lot of celebrities coming forth and being authentic and revealing their struggles with mental health. A lot of rappers and other artists. Most recently, I don't know if you are aware of the interview Ayesha had with the Red Table Talk,
I saw
which
a little bit of it.
Which is a very similar show to this show.
Yes.
And she discussed, as well as other women in that show, were discussing their struggles with anxiety. Yeah. So let's start with that. So what do you think about what Ayesha had to say? What's your take on that?
Wait, that's the thing with her insecurities, not the anxiety, the insecurity thing she said?
Yeah. Let's talk about that.
I mean, it's the truth. I'm not upset with her about speaking her truth, but it kind of just gave me clarification or solidified what I already knew. You can't please females. You can't please them.
That's what you got from that.
Yes, I got it because, I get it. You want your male attention. This guy's giving you but your guy, your husband, is giving you the attention. Now, what happens if all these other men you were getting that male attention outside, but Steph wasn't giving you the male attention? How would that go?
But wait,
how would that go?
You really
be careful of who you want, where you seek validation from.
But why do you think it's about seeking validation?
It is.
How about maybe it's just wanting to be appreciated for who you are, your beauty? Because she contrasted it to the level of attention that her husband, Steph Curry, gets. So she was saying that he gets all this attention, meanwhile she gets none. But Steph Curry, he gets his attention because people appreciate his skills, his gifts, and his talents.
Right.
So she's also would like to want to be appreciated for her gifts and her talents. So you don't see, when I think of validation, I think that what that is saying that you need somebody to tell you that you're great because you don't already believe it.
You didn't hear that?
No. What I heard is, I know that I'm great. Why doesn't anybody else see it? Because she's saying, she was just like, why am I not getting it?
I didn't hear that.
So I'm hearing appreciation.
You know why I didn't hear that? Because she put things out there to show why she would be insecure. I've been in this relationship for 10 years, 3 kids, just had a baby, probably not happy about her body right now. It's insecurities. you know what's a word or phrase that gets overlooked? Self-esteem. You know the key word in self-esteem? Self. It starts with you.
Did she mention the word self-esteem?
Insecurities. You know what I'm saying? Same thing. So when I hear
is it
what she's insecure, why isn't being insecure and having low self-esteem the same thing? Or you could be insecure about certain things, certain areas.
Because what I heard is she just wants to be acknowledged, and she's getting swallowed up in his world, and she's feeling invisible in his world.
I didn't get that. I got that. When you have horses, if it's like when I was a kid, my aunt used to take me to horse races, and they have blinders. Mm-hmm. Like she had to show me like they have blinders, and you know why they have blinders?
So that they don't. So is it that so they're not seeing the other horses that
They're
just
running,
focus
and running their race. Mm-hmm. So, and that's why I go back to validation. So many people seek. Some people run to Instagram for validation. Some people seek compliments outside. Just it could be from a female. I want to go in. I'm gonna be the baddest dressed chick in the club, and you looking for someone to girl. Them shoes is bad. If nobody says it, you feel like, damn, maybe these shoes ain't bad. Mm-hmm. It's like. That's what it goes back to seeking validation. Your best friend, your husband, if you're going to seek validation, it should be enough. It should be enough.
I don't think that's realistic.
Why not?
Because I don't think that's realistic to think that everything is put into that one person. And I guess I relate to what she's saying, not because I'm a woman, but because my husband told me the same thing, that he feels swallowed up in my world, and the level of attention that I receive is challenging for him. So it's not just like a woman thing, and I think
I'm sorry. I'm sorry if I made it. No, it's not a woman thing.
It's just people.
It's a self-esteem thing.
It's about balance.
Okay, well, let me give you an example. We promise you guys we're going to get to the mental health aspect, but this is the beginning. This is mental health. I agree. So here's the thing. As my wife, she does a lot. She has a nonprofit organization, Don't Forget Me, Francis Canty Foundation, and she's doing a lot of big things out there. When I see her do things, I don't ever feel like, damn, I'm the vice president of that company. I don't feel like, I could be doing more with my life. My life is, because I'm doing it. You're doing it. Right, so it starts... There you go. It starts with self.
So therefore, so you completely missed the point. This the imbalance. She said she receives 0. He receives all of this attention. So it's an imbalance. If you receive your own level of attention and your wife gets hers, there is no imbalance.
She's getting attention. She's not getting attention from all right, for instance.
But she's not aware of it because that's when Jada and the rest of them stopped it because there's this like, right. Oh, your radar is turned
you
off.
Know what I mean? And I don't, hopefully they don't hear this, so I don't want to confuse anything. But sometimes I had a coworker. She's like, no guys want to talk to me, and I will be going to the store. I'll see guys talk to her, but it's no guys that she's interested in or she finds attractive. So in her mind, okay. Nobody. What you mean nobody try to talk? He just try to talk. He don't count. It's like, how you girls.
No, they dismiss.
Yeah, you know how some of you girls you ladies don't like to count like the bad ones, the quickies and all that. It's the same.
That's interesting. Nobody ever brought that. And you know what? In all the conversations I had, you're right. Maybe that is part of it that, she dismisses a certain element. That could be it too.
She's a beautiful woman. Like, she's cover girl. All this. So you think they just got it because she's Steph's wife? No, she's a beautiful girl. She has beautiful teeth. She knows it, but don't try to compare yourself to your husband. You can't shoot.
I don't think she's comparing herself. I just think
she did compare herself.
But see, I don't think it's about. I'm just saying it's about the imbalance. Because when you have a partner, just like if let's say Stedman Graham said this in regards to Oprah, nobody would blink an eye because it's like, okay, well, yeah, we expect that. You know what I mean? When you have a partner that's so significantly famous and receives so much adoration from their fans, and you're just like fading in the background, that's hard for people. And it's just like, and you want to be, huh?
Why are you fading?
Because
Barack was, you saw what he was. I don't think Mrs. Obama was fading. Why? Because she was doing a thing.
Because she was getting attention too.
Because she found herself somehow. She knew her calling.
Right. But
again, it goes back to self.
But Ayesha has her calling. She has her things going on. But then when you are in your husband's world and your husband receives so much.
See, you just said it. She has a world, but it's not enough. That's what I'm hearing from Ayesha. She has it. She has it all, but it's not enough. You can't. I don't think I would never compare anything I do to my wife unless I'm using it as a positive. Like, damn, Small, you doing that? I got to step my game up. But I'm never going to be like, I don't feel like my life is not going good, or I don't feel like no. That's a self problem, and that's we gotta hold ourselves accountable.
I'm not saying that that it isn't, because she clearly has some stuff that she has to work through,
Right.
and she's working through it because she did admit that she has anxieties and she's on medication for anxieties. So she's well aware, and she is addressing, her emotional health and her mental health, issues, which I completely and totally applaud her for.
Yeah.
And then actually being very transparent about that, is a great thing because, everybody is becoming and being more transparent with their, mental health and emotional health issues. So I applaud her for that. However, I don't think it's like to say that, because she has it all, that she should just be satisfied.
No, I don't want to be satisfied, but don't define yourself by who you are compared to your husband. That's what I'm saying. Find your own niche, find your own role, and you guys support each other. That's the thing, and it does. I know. As I spoke to many females about this at a dinner, we were talking about it last night, and I found so many females are trying to dress up what she's saying. All the females know she understand what she's saying. She just said it wrong, or I think she was trying to say this, but nobody wants to just really talk about what she said.
But I believe
because even you like what I heard was no. What did she say? I don't want to talk about what she was trying to say. What did she say?
She said that she feels insecure because she gets zero male attention. Meanwhile, her husband is getting, and like I said,
she don't even. Your parents or your guardians, they tell you growing up, be careful what you ask for.
Yeah.
I don't even know. I don't think she wants the attention.
But you know what? But like I said, even with my husband, it's like I wish that he would get some attention because it would make it easier for him to deal with the attention that I get because we don't even go out together because it's very challenging for him to, where he feels sidelined with the attention and the people coming up to me and you know what I mean and the things that I go through. He feels completely, and he's even before, Ayesha, he's been telling me. So that's why when she said, it's like, oh, I get it. This is the same thing that and when she made the comment about having to assert herself and being introduced, he would constantly tell me about the same thing. It's like, oh, you didn't introduce me. You didn't introduce me. And it's like,
I went through that. My wife does that too. And I'm like, I don't insert myself, but I'm like, I'm not here. After they leave, so, but that's something that you have to work on. You have to, again, you have to make him as much as you can because you can do everything you can because it's still a self issue. So you can, let's say you make that adjustment and introduce. If he's still not right, he's going to find something else to feel, insecure about.
Well, this is, I agree with that. Yeah. But like I said, there's nothing wrong with what she said, and I don't think it's about a competition thing. I just felt like she just feels invisible in his world, and it's just like it's about the imbalance. And if she received that balance and she received her own attention, not that she's looking for somebody to slide in her DMs and she's looking to cheat, which some people seem to think that it's about. I just think that she just wants to be acknowledged.
See, that's the problem I'm having. I don't have a problem with what she said. I'm having problems with people dressing up what she said. Now, you just said, you keep saying in his world. She never said that. This is what you're saying. She's never said that.
Okay. Fair enough.
And I think that's the issue. So if we really just focused on
reason,
what she said, we can
said
get to the bottom of this.
She's talked about the level of attention he gets versus the fact that she gets none. So that's why I heard it as in his world, because it's like, oh, he gets so much, and I don't get anything. You know what I mean? That's why I heard it that way.
Listen, you heard what you heard. You heard what you heard, and I heard what I heard. I didn't hear the word world, not one time, and that's what I want to stick to. I want to stick to what she said. But what I do like about it is she's talking about it. Mm-hmm. Whether we agree with it, whether we thought she could have said it like this, I think that's the key, that she's actually talking about it. Mm-hmm. And it creates a dialogue between me and you and so many millions of people out there. So I applaud her. But just appreciate what you got and be careful who you. I know you don't like this word, but you seek attention from. I won't say. I was gonna say validation, but you gave me the side eye. So be careful who you seek attention from. Be careful.
I just.
Could you imagine if he said that?
Yeah, I can.
Or a guy. It's just a guy said that alone.
But
It would have been
I don't
World
think
War III.
That's incorrect. I don't think so. Jay-Z's 444 album was about him being vulnerable. He also, what I heard in his album when he even confessed to cheating is
Did he say that Beyonce wasn't giving him attention?
But she didn't say that Steph wasn't giving her attention. She didn't say that.
Did he say that he wanted any outside attention?
He got outside attention when he cheated.
Did he say he wanted it? That's what we're going by the record. We saying what he's I don't think he cheated. That's just my thing. I just think. You know what I think happened? Just like that, it's all promo. All I know is they got three albums and a big time tour out the deal. And twins.
I love the way you just dismissed all of that. That's very convenient.
I think it's now in this world of social media and everybody has a camera. Everybody's doing little things. You don't think that if he was really doing that, it would be one picture, not one picture, nothing. Kevin Hart is he got caught. You saw they had footage of. You don't think one person has footage of that? Come on, I don't think it happened.
Oh, boy.
That's something for a whole nother day. But just we have to stay woke. We have to say we don't know that happened. That could have just been a marketing tool. Like I said, I'm not going by what I think happened. I'm just going by what I see. And what I see is they just won a Grammy for that album that they did together. Lemonade happened. Becky with the good hair, all that stuff. 444, 8 Grammy nominations, set of twins, big time tour. It was very profitable.
You know what? I think that men won't necessarily come out and say directly that they crave women attention, but they'll act out on it because they're not getting it.
I agree with that.
Like if Bobby Brown would have said, "Oh, he's not getting enough attention because Whitney's so famous," nobody would blink an eye.
No, I said that. Like me and my wife had a discussion on that, and a lot of females don't believe me. I think guys cheat. People. It's a stigma that guys cheat because we can, or we're just these horny creatures and this and that. No, something is missing. And some people be like, "Oh, I put it down in the bedroom. I cook." Maybe you're not supportive. Maybe when he's watching a game, maybe you're talking too much.
That may be a reason.
I don't think guys dig down deep. And the way you like to talk about going down deep on an intimate level and really like to face it. Like we're soft. Mm-hmm. The hardest cats are soft. That's why. I agree with that. That's why we could shit on y'all a million times. Y'all can stay. Y'all shit on us one time. We out. We soft. We can't handle that.
I agree. I totally agree with that.
Subject? I don't want to get off subject.
No, we're still on the subject. But if guys are so soft, and then why aren't they more open about their vulnerability so that their needs can get met?
It's happening. It's slowly happening, and you just got to be comfortable. You have to be someone that you feel comfortable enough to open up with, or you could be just back to self, secure enough on your feelings. You stand by what you say, and you know what? I don't care how you feel about. I don't care how you judge me for what I'm about to say, but this is how I feel. No, I feel like I need you. I want my back rub. I want you to do this. I want you to do that. But some people feel like that's soft. Some males feel like you're being soft. You're not being a man. You're not man. You're not manning up. So
where did they get that idea from?
I mean, it could start from home. Let's just say dad was around. Mm-hmm. When you fall, let's say you fall on the floor. Kids fall on the floor. What's the first thing? I'm guilty of this with my kids. What's the first thing a father tells their kid? The son, get up. Don't cry.
Yeah. Yeah, this is true.
And it starts there. So now to cry or show any type of emotion, you're pumped. You feel soft.
I agree. And I think a lot of women feel uncomfortable being in the presence of a vulnerable male.
Exactly.
And so because they're uncomfortable, they don't provide that safe space for him to be vulnerable in because they're uncomfortable.
You see where I'm going with this?
No, I
Cool.
get it. I get it. But however, I think there's starting to be, a shift in that. And, women want to see vulnerable men because I also believe we like vulnerable men. That's why we love R&B and slow jams and stuff like that.
I've got most of the girls I've gotten because they love the knowledge of R&B that I have. Works every time. Fellas, take it from me. Know your R&B, especially the 80s and 90s. Know your R&B game. Ladies will love you, fella.
80s and 70s because 80s
70s too.
70s and 80s was more about vulnerability and love. 90s was more about sex. So you know what I mean. So we 70s and 80s R&B
cool with that.
is
All
much
right.
better than
That's
the
cool.
90s. So
We could do that.
we don't want to get into music because we'll go all the way
Yeah.
with music. But so now with men, I guess being more vulnerable and open about their their mental health and PTSD in our community, whereas Black men they have they're being hunted by the police and the amount of racism they're going through all of these emotional drama, like let's just say in the court system, maybe for child support, going through divorce. Why don't they seek the help and the support for those things?
Because it's no trust. Everything you named is no reason for the Black man to have trust in those things. Like, why would I trust the child support system where I know mothers that didn't even serve that. They faked like they served their the father.
Mm-hmm.
Father didn't even know the case, even though he had a case.
So he
Max 17%, just like that. It's when it comes to the law, the jail is full with Blacks and minorities. So we don't have faith in that. So if we had something to have faith in, it would be a whole different ballgame.
So
I don't have faith in the child support system or the law at all.
Really?
No.
Okay, no, and I understand because that's one of the issues is we do get inadequate health care and you need to get the
So.
there is inadequate treatment for mental health for African Americans, and that's part of the reason why so many of us have difficulty seeking help for that. That's one of the reasons. So I completely and I totally get it, and that's that's one of the barriers, as well as the financial aspect of it. We don't have the financial resources to get the help, and with the tremendous lack of trust in the in the court system, with the with the police and all of that. However, you still have to get to a point where you say that you still have to address your needs. It's like when all is not well.
Right.
When are you gonna take care of that? Well, not you specifically,
Yeah.
but when will our Black men say all is not well? I know all is not well. Let me seek out African American providers, healthcare providers.
Right.
And there are websites and there are resources where they can seek out African American healthcare providers.
Right.
Do you think just like they say for teaching in school, they need to see representation, they need to have African American male teachers so that they can get their guidance? Do you think the same thing also exists with mental health care, that they need African American male social workers and such? Is that better?
No, I think we're on the right track with the celebrities coming out because, of course, in the perfect world, your parents should be your role models and your
But they have their own
uncles
trauma that they have
Right,
unaddressed
right.
as well.
Well, the parents as well. I mean, the celebrities as well. But let's face it, like the way this generation is now. You think Jay-Z's the first person that's been telling guys to get their credit? You think what I'm saying? You think Nipsey Hussle's the first guy? No, this has been going on. You know what I'm saying? But it has to be somebody they respect, somebody like. for them to get it. You know.
So how do you deal with your emotional issues?
I hold myself accountable. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, okay, like you said child support. I make sure my daughter's mother, when she was younger, I make sure she's all right. You know what I'm saying? Like, I make sure she's good. I make sure my kid is good, so I don't have to put it in the court system hand. When I go outside, some may say I have fancy cars. Some may say. So when I'm in there, I don't wear a hoodie. I don't, you know what I'm saying? I hold my, now I'm not saying I could be dressed suit and tie, I could get pulled over. But I think if I hold myself accountable and do the right thing, it decreases the chances.
Oh, and that's perfect, because I think we are in the era of accountability, you know, as well as authenticity. So that's a great thing, and I think a lot more people in general need to hold themselves accountable,
right?
And that's a good thing. But why aren't more people holding themselves accountable?
You know how many people don't feel they wrong? you know what I'm saying? Like, people don't feel they wrong. People want to win every debate, every argument. They're never wrong, and that's where it starts. You don't think you're never wrong. We've had many debates. You dead wrong. You
because
just
I'm
keep
always
going.
right, though. But
this
anyway,
is what was this is my point. I wish my man Duss would have came earlier, and I am
right all the time, but it's okay. But anyway, but I've gone through my mental, health journey, and I started counseling at the age of 16 and went consistently between the ages of 16 and 33. So it's like, for me, that is something that's huge and significant, is addressing, and I'm very passionate about this issue, is because we'll be better parents, we'll be better spouses, we'll just be better people when we address our trauma. And it's, everybody's going through the world and they're just so angry, and they don't think that they have PTSD. And it's like, how you even trying to get a cast together to do this topic, it's like some people just felt so disconnected. And I'm just like, what do you mean? The level of suicide that we have in our community, when you see how people self-medicate, in our communities, everybody that's smoking weed, and the level of alcoholism, I was just like, because they're just trying to self-medicate through their depression. And it's like,
when you, because I've been to therapies, I've been to family therapy with my wife, my kids, all that stuff. So yeah. I've been.
You sound like you have something to say.
He would be dope for this.
So come on. Oh well, we don't have an extra mic.
I'm gonna give him my mic.
So you sound
but
like
let me just say this: when you went to therapy, and all therapists have different strategic ways of how they do. Did they really tell you anything, or
no? They didn't.
They get you to talk,
right?
And as you talk, you start putting everything together.
Exactly. That's exactly what. So
it goes back to how we set the show off. It starts with self.
Right.
People don't want to hold themselves accountable.
And because when you sit with yourself, it's an uncomfortable place for a lot of people to be in, is to sit in their darkness and deal with their real darkest moments and all their trauma. Is very, very, and in the beginning, I mean, because like I said, I started at 16, so I was very immature. Yeah. So I didn't even really take it seriously. And it was just like, I just would go and not go in and show up and not show up because I was immature, until I realized that I really need to take this more seriously. So if as a 16-year-old, and then you have adults who don't even take it seriously and don't want to deal with their trauma. And it's like, could you imagine a 16-year-old? It's very uncomfortable. But when you make that decision and say, you know what, I need to get right. All is not well with me, and I am going to power through this. It got to a point where they wanted to put me on medication because, of course, the system, they always want to try to prescribe. They want to prescribe you something. So they wanted to put me on, I actually was on Zoloft. They had prescribed me Zoloft. But the side effects from Zoloft, I was probably on it for maybe a couple of weeks. And what was the biggest issue was the sexual side effects. So here I am, in my late teens, early 20s, and the sexual side effects, one of them was like the inability to achieve orgasm.
Oh.
That's what stopped me. Because
It wasn't the guy you was with.
What?
It wasn't the guy you was. I know this. I don't know.
No, it's the zone. That's one sexual side effects is one of those known. It's listed.
Duss, let's Google that. I don't know if that's.
Yes, look it up. Zoloft, the inability to achieve.
I'm about to bring my man Duss off, which is the host of Streets Want to Know. But before I go, I do want to say, most of the time we got to go directly to our childhood. Like, I'm a very, very humble person, but I got humbled by my mother. It's kind of happened by accident. Like, I would come to her, look, with a newspaper. Like, look, Mom, I'm in the news. I'm in a paper. I scored the Smarter Points with this. We won, beat South Shore. And she was like, can you pass me the thing right there? Like, she just would, she wouldn't even realize that she just ignored me. So that started me not talking about my achievements. You know what I'm saying? So when you don't hear me talk about a bunch of things I'm doing or I do, it took me a minute to figure out. But
that's not good too. Why can't you celebrate your achievements?
But this is what I'm saying. It started from then because the love of my life, it was my mother that shot me down. So I'm not gonna let myself.
Well, I think that's another issue on its own. It could because I believe our young.
Everything starts from childhood, and my mother's my favorite person in the world. Don't get it twisted. Duss, come on, Duss.
But
Streets Want to Know, coming back soon.
Yeah, introduce yourself and promo your show. Yeah, we're not live. We're recording. We're not live.
Okay. First of all, this is Duss Smitto from the Streets Want to Know show. I'm back in the building. We say what they can't with the lovely
Sesheta Khepra.
There you go. How you doing?
I'm good. So, as he was saying that, his mom, would just, so he wouldn't, I guess, get a swelled head and, not brag about his achievements, just, quick. I think for our young black boys, because I do it with my son as well, I make sure I celebrate his achievements and bring it to light and highlight his achievements. And I think that's very necessary for young black men.
I'll say this, like a friend of mine's from my hood. I'm from Red Hook, down here in Brooklyn, Red Projects, and also Williamsburg. My man Brown said this one day to me. He said, "Our parents will never admit a lot of them raised us wrong."
I agree.
And that's the problem.
I agree.
A lot of the problem, what you were saying, because a lot of what you're saying make a lot of sense, but the root of the problem, even if you dig deep and go to counseling and deal with your pain, it's to deal with the truth.
Right.
And the truth is, a lot of us just wasn't brought up right.
Exactly.
Because it has to start in the home.
Right.
Everything starts with the children.
I agree.
So the way you're establishing your son now, he's going to grow up with morals and principles, character. You understand what I'm saying? Being a gentleman, being taken serious. You understand? So it's like, even with my son, I see myself doing a lot of things that I was brought up with, as far as myself, that was wrong. He's talking to me, he's trying to get his word out, and shut up. Then I'll call him back. Dad, I apologize. I shouldn't have did that. I should have heard you out.
And that's big for a parent to apologize to their child. That's big. That's big.
You have to be, once again, I tell anybody, be who you are in this world. You're going to be who you are. I don't care. You could get counseling just to understand what you're going through, but you're going to be who you are. The easiest way to get through anything is to tell yourself the truth. I'm a bad individual. Or I'm a this type of person. You understand what I'm saying? Like, you got to be true. When you look in that mirror, you can lie to the rest of the world. I tell my son, lie to everybody if you have to. Just don't lie to yourself or don't lie to me. I tell him that. If you feel like you don't want to give the world who you really are, that's fine.
Okay.
Don't lie to yourself.
All right.
Because you still got to wake up and deal with you. So it starts with the truth. I tell my son I was wrong. I shouldn't have said that. I should have heard you out. And then I'll give him an ear.
That's big.
It has to start.
That's big.
You have to. Because I know me. That's how I was brought up. Yo, Ma, or, to go to my uncles. That shit don't matter. You got to get money. And this is what life is about. Nobody care about that. So as a kid, my emotions were shut off early. I've come from a different background.
So now how do you manage your emotions as a man? How old are you?
39.
39. So as a 39-year-old male growing up in, how do you handle your emotions? Do you admit that you have emotional challenges and that you have a lot of trauma that's unaddressed that needs to be dealt with?
I was a big fan of, I tell people music helped me a lot. So that's something I did since a kid because it gave me therapy.
Right.
So I was a big Pac fan. So when you listen to Pac, it was always his truth. He always said, I'm from the ghetto and I'm still here. You understand? I'll just learn to tell the truth. I tell myself the truth.
And that
emotionally, I'm damaged.
At
It
least
is
you
what it is.
No,
I'm
and
damaged
that's
goods.
great.
I may wake up sometime feeling like this. I may go to sleep feeling like that.
And that is so amazing that you could admit that. And I was talking to Morock about that earlier. It's
Yeah.
about a lot of us pen through our pain, and we're rappers pen through their pain.
Yes,
I'm a writer.
100%.
We pen through our pain.
If I didn't have rap, I would have probably been, and I'm just being truthful, I probably wouldn't have been here right now.
Yeah, and
I would have been dead a long time ago.
And that's why
because I didn't have nothing to release. You see, people forget let's not say forget. Don't forget the problem, but the problem could have a solution if you find a release.
Yeah.
Like boxers. You know why most of those dudes box? Because they're passionate.
Yeah.
There's a rage inside of them they have to get out.
Right.
And some of them find the ring. You understand? Get paid for that passion. Because like Mike Tyson said, if it wasn't for the ring, who knows where he would have been.
And that's why we need to give these boys a way to express
There you go.
emotionally
There you go.
and allow them to express themselves
have to.
however. And
You have
like
to.
one of my favorite rappers is DMX because DMX is
100%.
so vulnerable.
I couldn't
in
deal
his
with the barking.
music.
I couldn't deal with the barking, but I like X.
You know,
I like,
and it's his vulnerability
Yeah.
that I love so much. And there's not a lot of rappers who have that level of vulnerability in their music.
Once you see X perform, then you just know that's not, I don't look at X as almost like a rapper. Like to me, he was just like a motivational speaker. Like,
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? He could talk the language of the people. If you ever been through something, you relate to DMX.
Yeah,
Him
absolutely.
crying on stage, him praying, and that's something
I was at his
different.
show at Irving
Yeah,
Plaza
I
the
went
other
to the
day,
Barclay,
and it was
like 2 years
he's
ago.
amazing.
Yeah,
he's
he's
amazing.
incredible. He's incredible. He's one of those.
And
yeah.
I think that has to become commonplace. People feel safe to express their vulnerabilities, and it's like if we turn to music, like we like R&B music, slow jams, because the artists are expressing love and their vulnerabilities through the music.
The crazy thing is, I'm a big R&B fan, and I'm not connected to that part of myself. But I like R&B. Like I like the mood it put me in, like Sade. But then again, like I said, it goes back to being young. My grandmother listened to a lot of the stuff I like now. So I remember it from then. Not more or less so being so in love, but just, that vibe. So it's
that's another aspect of music when you
Right.
start talking about tone and pitch and how the vibrations that it creates within you. So that's another aspect of it. But I'm also into lyrics because, like I said, I pen through my pain.
Right.
So therefore, when you start listening to the lyrics and people
poetry
express
is rap.
themselves,
That's
exactly.
all the same
And I write poetry as well.
Yeah, Nas
So
is a poet. He just know how to put it to a beat. That's poetry.
Exactly. So now this is why it's so important, because every black man is not a rapper. Every black man is not an artist, but they still have issues that they need to address.
Yeah, but but see, this generation is a big generation gap. The streets raised me, and what I mean by that is it wasn't pretty, but it was effective. I've had older dudes in the neighborhood slap me in the face for certain things that today I see kids do that I couldn't get away with. You understand what I'm saying? Y'all saying in front of the building, you ain't helped the old lady. I remember getting slapped for stuff like that.
Not helping the old lady.
Of course. I don't care what you doing out here. I don't care what you're selling. You understand? You see an old lady cross that street, y'all don't get up, y'all gonna have a problem. So it's the morals and principles is that even if you gotta learn them the hard way,
right,
they still should be instilled. Today you don't got nobody teaching their young homies, so to speak, to be like, look, homie, you ain't gotta do that, or you don't talk to a woman like that, or you understand what I'm saying?
But why is that? Because if you were raised that way, so then you should be.
I'm just one
you're
person.
The OG
100%.
now. You're the
I
OG now.
agree.
So now
I just one person, but then you got to look at what their direction is. How can I be that voice to say, oh, this is how it should be done? Then when you look at your favorite rapper or favorite artist on television now, they're the ones telling you pop pills. This is what it is. It's the influence.
Okay.
Who has the influence? I'm just one person. I make it reach 10.
But
when they reach 10,000.
But they're popping pills to self-medicate because they're struggling with their depression.
100%.
And you know,
I was told when you feel away, you know, like I said, you go play basketball. You go, you know, it was many different things that I was told.
More positive outlet.
Yeah,
So,
positive to burn that thing you had, or like I said, I grew up a little different, but when you was outside, you was outside. Mm-hmm. That didn't mean you had to be ignorant. Like I had an older dude tell me one day, I see my friend who was looking through the newspaper at an article that was going on in our neighborhood. He couldn't read, and the older dude was like, "Yo, like, ain't no such thing as a dumb gangster. Al Capone, all those them dudes was educated. Mm-hmm. You understand?" And I remember him that being instilled in his mind. He got his high school diploma. He went a year in college, even though we was in the street. But he was so embarrassed that he couldn't read. But the older dude was right. Just because you outside, quote unquote, don't mean you should be dumb.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? There's none of that no more. So it's just a different time.
Okay.
We dealing with a different time.
Well, now, even though we're in a different time, I think there's a shift now, and now there's a greater focus on mental health awareness.
100%.
And now the conversations are being had where people are feeling safer to put themselves out there to say, you know what, I'm struggling now, and I have my challenges, and I've gone to counseling.
The dialogue, basically.
Yeah, the dialogue.
Yeah,
and now May, we're in Mental Health Awareness Month, so that's why I'm having this conversation. And what I want to see is more people making that call, going to the website, finding those African American mental health care providers, and getting the help that they need. So that this way
make
all
it
is
cool
well.
To be healthy. That's
yeah, exactly. It's not cool to pop pills, be on lean, and do all of that to deal with your.
For me, I'm a drinker.
I'm too. You know what I mean? I'm here. You know what I mean? But it's going to be cool to address
the issue.
And deal with our trauma.
I'm in. I help. I'm here.
All right. So now we got to wrap this up. Please promo your show again.
Yes, Streets Want to Know. We back this month. May 19th. I'm on my ish. So, I'm just a little bit raw. I talk about it up front, close and personal. But we back May 19th. Streets Want to Know. Of course, season 3.
Are you going to invite me on your show?
Of course. Come on.
Okay.
I got to have you on my show because this is the issue I want to address.
Okay.
Just on my show, I'm telling you, it's a little raw.
It's okay.
Okay, there you go.
All right. I ain't never scared.
All right, cool. All right. It's your boy Smitto. We here, man.
And this is Sesheta Khepra, the Intimacy Junkie, and we're wrapping up SoulShare for today.
Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you.